Life is complex, so is our mental health. It cannot be understood by diagnosis alone. Our philosophy is treat the person, not the mental illness. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Humanizing Mental Health. I'm Trenton Akers.
And I'm Jeremy Alcorn.
Yeah, well, Jeremy, we've got a family connection in here today, don't we?
Yeah, we have a very interesting guest. I'd like to introduce my cousin, Cody Bevans.
Hey,
everybody. Nice to be here. I appreciate it, Jer.
Yeah, so this is interesting, right? I'll set this up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the title always guides the conversation. Our title, everybody's talking about post-traumatic stress, and that's real. It is. It's just we also, I think, want to have an idea or a realization that there is post-traumatic growth.
Yeah. Sorry. Because I think so many of us, like, whenever we talk about mental health, you always talk about the event, what happened, but then it's okay, what happens after that, after you've been diagnosed, after you've begun the healing, and when you start to live your life, what does that really look like to integrate?
Yeah, for sure. And I will say that there is a level here that's important for people to know that spirituality will be a part of this conversation, because it's just part of Cody's story. So to set this up a little bit, what's your birthday, Cody?
31st of January, 77.
And mine, February 14th of 77.
Okay, wow, you guys are really close.
Yes, we have known each other for 46 years.
I'm looking at you, and whenever you guys look at each other, I just noticed this. You guys have the exact same smile.
Oh,
yeah, we got it from our moms.
Yeah,
yeah. No, I can just see the resonance between the two of you. So, yeah. So I'm just curious about what it was like for the two of you growing up.
Yeah, it's a perfect question. In fact, I'll tell a couple stories, maybe bind this together. There's actually 5 of us that were all born in the same year.
Oh, wow.
And 4 of us that were within 3 months of each other.
Mm-hmm.
So we spent lots of times as a kid. And honestly, I thought that my cousin was like invincible, like invulnerable.
So you thought he had the Superman shield?
Well, I saw, keep in mind, we grew up for a lot of the 1980s. I saw him get rolled over more than once by a 3-wheeler.
Whoa, dude.
we spent a lot of time every year. Our families are really close, so family reunions on the creek, fishing, and 5 of us kept competitions up and had good fishing derbies and lots of good good experiences that give us that connection that you're that's visible to you.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I can see that. So you guys really had like a very wholesome upbringing, basically.
Yeah, is a really, really connected. It's true.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that there isn't also, parts of that upbringing that left holes in our development too, right? That's also true.
Well, no.
But we also have these very good protective factors. Yeah.
Well, absolutely. And I think that that's something like whenever you're talking about trauma, I mean, there's this idea that like when people come from traumatic backgrounds that it's all trauma. And sometimes I think as Gabor Mate even talks about, that we've all experienced trauma. For those of us that, you can generally have a good life and a good lifestyle, but it's those events that are key, that can really impact us for long-running things. And I think that you've had an event in your life, Cody, that really impacted you.
Yeah, for sure. In fact, let me pull that together. So I thought my cousin was invulnerable. We rolled over by 3-wheelers. I mean, there's a reason they got rid of those things, right? And they don't make them anymore. But there was also this event. We're like 8 years old, and I lived in this really old house, like 100-year-old house.
Okay.
And it had like 9-foot ceilings. And we rented it. The Masons owned the building, and they had their Masonic lodge upstairs.
Okay. Well, wait. The stonemasons?
That's the Masons, that we're talking.
Yeah. Well, no. I just wanted to
the
make
Masonic, sure. The Masonic, not Mr. Mason, not Harry Mason, but the Mason order.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lodge.
Interesting.
So Cody's sleeping over, and there'd be like scraping noises upstairs, and be like, what is going on? I don't know, singing stuff, but of course it was a fascination at the time, and to me something was strange. But so this puts things in context. This old building, inside my room, there was a set of shelves in the corner. It went all the way to the 9 feet high.
Whoa.
And we're looking for a game, right? We're like, hey, we want to play something. Let's do something. And so Cody's climbing up on the shelves, and he gets all the way to like his head is at like 9 feet high, right? And we're like 8 years old at the time. He's like, what was the question you asked me?
I found
again?
it.
Oh, no.
Well, I was looking for a game I'd never heard of, and when you told me what it was, Husker Du was the name of the game.
Like, hey, what is it? Husker Du.
Oh man, Husker Du, and
Husker Du.
I broke out laughing so hard I could hardly hold on to the shelving, and then it was
9 foot tumble to the floor.
Okay, so you basically did a Sylvester Stallone from Cliffhanger.
Yeah, it was epic. A TV tray felt the brunt, and Aunt Marlene had to administer first aid.
And Aunt Marlene had to administer first aid. Did she have to pop your shoulder back into place?
Well, there was some definite need for some ointment. Like the table had sharp edges, so bodies don't do so good. Don't do so good with sharp edges.
Yeah.
It's a good thing my mom was a licensed practical nurse, because
She
okay. Yeah.
she did some magic, because the next day it was good to go.
In fact, if everything healed that well, wow. But so you can imagine my surprise when my invincible cousin, so what were we, 17? 18.
18. Yeah,
18
just turned
years
18.
old. Get this call that Cody's in the hospital in Calgary and don't know if he's going to make it.
Wow, I can only imagine the shock that must have resonated through you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm like it's almost like, wait, well, Mr. Invincible is in the hospital?
Yeah. So this is where the true story starts.
A little bit of background, and Trent, you alluded to the wholesome upbringing that, and it very much was, and your parents do their best, and as we were growing up, we had the run of the hamlet of Levitt. We just had a fantastic upbringing, and looking for my place, and I thought I had to test myself. I think I was about 14 or so, and so I thought, well, my uncles and family had, rodeoed and been in ride rough stock or rope, or so I thought, well, that'd be a good test. I'm going to ride bucking horses, and so and it's important to know that with this injury, I didn't get injured riding bucking horses, but
it interfered with that dream of doing rodeo.
It did, and when I came out of the coma, I thought that's what had happened. I thought I had a horse go over on me in the chute or something, and
because you didn't remember what happened.
Because I didn't know what was going on, and just said to myself, "You're in bad shape. You need to lay here and be still and let the doctors do their thing." Now, I wasn't hurt rodeoing, but just another day at school, and have you seen or have you heard of a potato cannon?
Oh, absolutely. My brother actually built a few potato cannons, and we've launched them off the deck of my parents' acreage, of course. With
And how far do they go?
They go very far. I remember we've had a couple dogs, and actually that's what we used to do. Is we used to have like a tennis ball, put it in the potato cannon, and launch it, and then the dog would go chase the ball, and it would go for quite a long time. So it's quite a bit of force.
Yes, yeah, and this particular time was a shop class, so they had made one, and I don't know what you use for your combustible, hairspray or just ether. They were putting acetylene in it, which is highly volatile.
Extremely volatile. Yeah.
And mix a little oxygen with it, and you got a bomb.
Yes.
And so that's what they did. And what happened is the chamber,
Yes,
that you put your combustible in expanded enough that the rear cap cleared the threads and blew off the back. And I was just watching. I wasn't operating the thing, but it hit me in the head, and then they found it a block away under a parked car.
Oh,
so
my
that's
word.
the energy in that, even after hitting me, and anyway.
That just like I'm just hearing that, and like I'm just imagining this sheer concussive force that your head was met with.
I went up there after I had returned from the hospital, and just to see, because I lost about 6 months of memory, so I just wanted to start putting the pieces together, and went back up there to the site, and big blood stains still just sitting there, but pretty.
It's all right, man.
Sorry.
Take your time.
Yeah.
No. I can see. This is not the first time that Cody and I have had this conversation, but it's different when you're putting it out into the world.
Yeah. No.
And so for sure, you take your time. It's fine.
Yeah. We've got time.
I mentioned laying there and coming to the realization that things were bad and I needed to settle down. As I laid there, I left my body. I did very much have an out-of-body experience. And you know, there were things that I was really seeking in my life at that time. And as I was leaving, I was filled with those things I was seeking: contentment, peace, you know. So it, and then just like that, I was back on the gurney in the ER with doctors running around and
Noise.
And I had some peace, and
It's like you brought some of that peace back with you.
yeah, and I was able to. They did give me a paralyzer because I was very combative, and but I was able to think. I wasn't able to move. I wasn't able to speak, but I was able to think and sense people around me. It was a scary ordeal.
Yeah.
As my mom, when my mom got there, they wouldn't let her in, and one of our good friends talked to her and let her know that there's a good chance I wasn't coming out of there, and so I was live flighted to Calgary, and I hadn't stabilized yet. They just had to send me. So I remember going, I don't know if we were on the plane or if we were in an ambulance from point A to point B somewhere. But I started to breathe on my own. And this is nothing against the EMTs or the paramedics that were there, nothing. Because they thought, oh, he's breathing on his own, and took their attention off me just for a few minutes, but I quit breathing. And so I sat there, laid there for a few minutes, and I'd fight for like 15 seconds just to pull in one, you know, and I'm just laying there hoping that somebody notices, and which they did, and then helped me out. But it was a pretty scary experience.
Yeah, wow. And as I hear that, like, I hear that really your life was almost narrowed down into a funnel. It was like what was most important. And really it was that sense of, okay, now it comes down to not only this sense of this existential idea of what do I want, but now it's I need to breathe and I need connection and I need those around me.
Yeah. In fact, something jumps out to me that I never realized before. In that part of the story, it's like the chronology is you're in the hospital in Cardston, and you have this experience in which you disconnect from your body, and you feel that peace. And then you come back to your body, and you have actually a greater desire to live because you felt that peace. And now you're flying to Calgary and someone is missing that you're having problems breathing. And you're like, wait, I don't want to die. I know that there's something greater and there's peace that can be found in this life.
Absolutely. And I was seeking it. And I was blessed with it at a time that I needed it. It's very much a big part of my recovery. And a place of strength for me.
You know, when I hear that, I almost think of the title of something that I watched recently comes back to me, and it's, you know, I almost, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't fit for you, but it's almost like finding meaning in loss. Like you were lost, and then you came back and you found meaning in that, and that drove you forward, and that's helping you to really collect who you are.
No more emptiness in life when you're filled with the love of God or whatever you believe in that's out
higher
there.
Power.
Yeah.
I had to find purpose. I had to find. I'm not good at quitting. I'm not good at turning my back on something. That is the goal. You know, that I think we all strive to attain in our lives, but it's not to overcome it is not
it's not
impossible.
insurmountable.
It's not. It's a mental state. It's a decision you've made and committed to, and then you just put in the work.
Yeah,
it's not always easy, and I struggle even today with just life.
Yeah,
but
in fact, there's this message from a fictional book that I found really, really helpful that I think fits with this, and it's this idea, this ideal that is held that life before death, living is harder than dying.
Wow. And you know, I thanks for bringing that up, Jared, because like when you think of death, I mean, for some people, like, death can be welcome because of what you're facing in the moment. You're like if you're going through a chronic illness or something like that. But death is a release. Life is a choice. You know, you either make the choice or the choice makes you.
Yes. Yeah. And you've got time to make that choice before the choice is decided for you. But it's important to get in the game.
Yeah.
And want to improve your quality of life and seek those things that be proactive. So you're not I don't want to say victim. I don't, but no, so you're not having choices made for you and dictated to, and but
And I'm curious, like, because like I can hear this massive strength and this drive in you, but I'm imagining like you're laying in this hospital bed, you have this drive towards life. Like what is it like for you? Like what resources did you gather, did you muster and that you keep using to move towards life, because no person is alone.
Yeah, Cody, what did your recovery look like? You know, starting that hospital bed, what did that recovery begin to look like?
Well, I mean, at first, I was just fighting for my life.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what resources to draw from, and I think, and I know that with head injuries, patients can become combative and that way. But I think I just didn't know any way else to fight than to fight. You know, I just wanted to live. And after, there's kind of a funny story. After I had life flighted up Calgary Foothills Hospital, went into surgery, came out of surgery. A couple days later, I was coming out of coma, and so I don't know who was in there in my room with me.
A whole bunch of people.
But when they...
Because we were all there in Calgary.
Yeah.
Like the whole clan, the whole, Johnson mob.
Yeah.
The whole clan?
Yeah. They, so they noticed I was waking up, opening my eyes. Went and got the doctor, and so the doctor come in, and as I opened my eyes, he was talking to me, and don't remember exactly what he was saying, but I remember him asking me if I knew where I was, and I said, yeah, I'm in Kansas City. And I was in Kansas City. I was dead serious, and I remember my mom saying, my heart just hit the floor. I thought we had a vegetable kind of. Anyway, she was just distraught, but it was a very profound experience, because just a minute or two after I had responded with that, it was just like a fog in my head cleared. And I said, no, I'm at Foothills Hospital in Calgary. And at that point, it was like, we're gonna do this.
Like it was a moment in which it's like, okay, yep, the foundation is set. Recovery starts now.
Yeah, it was like the reorientation, and it's like, okay, I know what path I'm going down.
Yes. Yeah.
It's Freud's fire for life was lit, and you're like, I've got the torch, I'm running it to the end.
God willing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We're all human, but I hold myself to account, and I expect certain things. And it's blessed my life and my recovery.
Yeah. And I really appreciate that you say that it's blessed your life, because some people will look at that and they look at it from such a deficit perspective, like how you're no longer able to do things, or the challenges that you face in your life. But really, it's about, how am I going to incorporate that into my narrative? And what is that going to mean for me? Is this going to be something, like you said, am I going to be a victim, or am I going to take this and allow this to give me new purpose and draw strength from challenge, strength from adversity?
Because the road was not easy.
No,
and it's still not. I mean, I deal with. I have a brain condition. I deal with terrible migraine headaches, and there are effects that I have to still address and deal with associated with that accident, but I know that I can do that in a way that I can maintain the quality of life that I have, and that I shoot for, that I strive to keep, and that what I don't want to say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but But when you commit yourself and when you put some skin in the game, then you got something to fight for.
Absolutely.
And in that it is very empowering, and you feel like you're in charge of your recovery.
Absolutely.
I think that is the key. I think that's the key right there. Like, we don't want to say to anybody out there that it's your fault that you haven't recovered. We're not saying that at all.
No.
But what we are saying is there's a whole bunch of terrible things that happen and that you cannot control. And it's the whole notion of the serenity prayer. That is, stop trying to control the things you can't. Because those are the things that you're going to accept. And start then putting your energy towards, driving your own bus and going, all right, this is my life.
Mm-hmm.
And what am I going to make of this with what I have?
Mm-hmm. And I'm curious because, as the recording of this podcast, I've been running a chronic pain group, and one thing that we talked about in one of the evenings is communicating with those around us about what we need in the moment and where we are at with, dealing with our current struggles. So I'm curious for you, because you said you deal with ongoing migraine headaches and different things, how do you communicate with those around you with what you need in the moment, and how does that inform your daily dealing with this stuff?
How long?
Almost
28.
Yeah, almost 30 years. Mm-hmm.
Almost 30 years. So those that are close to me
Mm-hmm.
and can see the signs or are aware or my support group or my support system are supportive. And there's another thought I had about that.
Yeah, well, one thing that jumps to my mind is for example, when you're looking at somebody and we're coming from a place of compassion.
Mm-hmm.
So I look at you and I see this functional human being, and I see all of these strengths. With your hat on, I can't see the scar on your head. You have a shaved head. And so if you don't have the hat on, you could see a scar, but that scar is does not represent the literal impact that literally you broke your skull in pieces. And the average person doesn't get the realization
reality
because you're so functional. And so someone that the notion of compassion, of really knowing, I don't know this person's background. So wait, before I come to conclusions and judge, I don't know where this person's coming from, what's happened to them, how they are experiencing life.
And that was when I was released from the hospital, they sent home a booklet for family to understand some of the things that they might see.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the topics in that pamphlet was it addressed the worst, I don't want to say worst.
Most prevalent, maybe?
But yeah, kind of the worst case scenario.
Kind of worst case scenario is when you have an able-bodied, somebody that looks like they can function and don't have anything wrong because they don't have anything visible.
Mm-hmm.
But when the problem is in the brain or
Mm-hmm.
that's the worst type of scenario.
Sure, because expectations from
Right.
other people are still going to be at that. You're a normal human being. I
Yes.
expect this of you.
Yeah.
And actually, I am a normal human being. I won't take that away from you. But I also have this other thing that's happened that hasn't happened to you, or how many people have lived through that?
Yeah.
How many people lived through something concussing them so hard that object landed a block and a half away? I know only one person that has lived through that.
Yeah.
And the case of that is that
No problem.
go. Yeah.
No, so I have
no,
actually
no.
another question that's related then, because as you start to talk about recovery, and given the fact that, as I just said, I only know one person that's lived through that particular kind of injury, how does a doctor treat somebody
That's what I was
when
going
it's
to.
when
Yeah.
it's like, okay, so my specific treatments would follow a protocol about maybe a brain injury, maybe migraines, but the very intricacies of your specific case may not match what the medical treatments would be. And I think this is a big part of your story.
Yeah, there's because of the injury and the type of injury, there's permanent damage left, and that alone makes it
Unique.
and needs to be dealt with in that manner. And I tell you, I went down rabbit holes like you wouldn't believe for 15 years, trying to find answers, trying to.
Well, yeah, because I'm hearing like if you look at a bell curve, like the thing is you have like the average people that are in the middle that have these, so that like you have those certain expectations, and the system is set up for that 60 to 70%, but you're at like the top 10th percentile where you appear to be normal, and they're looking and they're saying, okay, well, if we use this, if we use that, that will possibly do it. But you're meeting those milestones, but it sounds like it's just those gaps where you do have those struggles, and that must be the most difficult sometimes. I can only imagine for you, because it's like I'm meeting it at like 80 to 90%, but it's that last 10% that would be so challenging, because I could almost imagine the frustration, because what it would be like to be there.
It's a lifestyle change. It's had to be. Yeah.
And if you don't mind me jumping in for a second, because I think one piece that summarizes this really well is that doctors are required to meet a best practice standard. It's like, I need to have a reason why I'm doing this. So the protocols that I'm going to follow, they match a migraine protocol. They match maybe a brain injury protocol. But actually it did not serve you well. Like there needs to be this creativity that is a part of when you've got such a unique type of injury, and you were not served well. Not that the doctors are bad, not that the medications out there are evil, but they did not serve you well.
Right. It was a blanket solution to a very unique problem, and I had to go, and I felt like a guinea pig for a lot of years, with total ineffectiveness in addressing the effects or symptoms of my condition.
Let's even look at it. What are the options? The options are anticonvulsants, and they bring about possibly some really intense side effects. For some people, they're a miracle. They're awesome, but not for everyone. Opiates, where is that going to take you? Just over time, you're just going to need more and more and more of it as it like sensitizes your central nervous system, and you become more sensitized to pain. And maybe an antidepressant or some kind of other like antipsychotic. Even though the problem's not psychosis, those are the types of medication they would usually throw at things.
And then the one to help the effects, so that you can sleep, or I'm coming in. I have these terrible migraines. Well, try this, and here's the side effects. Well, it says it gives headaches. Anyway.
Wait. The thing that's supposed to deal with your headache will give you another kind of headache?
Right.
No.
Yeah, what are we doing here?
Or it's like, we give you opiates, and it's like, well, now my digestive tract won't move. Oh, don't worry. We'll give you something for that. But what are you going to give after you give me for that? To mess up the next thing that messed up.
Yeah, I almost think of the old Persian rug analogy. You pull on one string and then another string comes out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So for years, and I went through a learning curve with it, because I grew up in the sticks. You believe the doctors. Well, the doctor knows what you need when you're sick.
So you just do what he says.
Yeah.
The doctor's responsible for your health.
Yes. And again, I'm not.
You defer to authority.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I'm not throwing stones or anything at the physicians.
No, because they did their best with what they had.
They only know what they know and do what they know.
I have an individual that I spent a lot of time with, and his brother was a doctor, and he said that his brother used to say that 10 to 15% of medicine they know for sure. The other 90 to 85% is very educated guesswork.
I've heard a few very educated guesses on
Yeah.
what
Well, and
I
you know,
need.
and I wonder, with that, like, was there, because you had this deference, like, where you say, you grew up in the sticks. I listened to the doctor. Like, was there almost a sense of disbelief or almost frustration with that?
Oh, after years, then you kind of get frustrated.
Yeah.
And you're not getting the effectiveness that you need from your therapy or medication, whatever you're doing to address it. It's not effective. But now I'm dealing with X, Y, and Z because I've been taking A, B, and D, and my problem is
Still the same.
G.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
My problem's the same, and yet I have all these side effects of things that are making me worse, actually.
Right. And some of the side effects of those things are just nasty. Like I remember one night I was crawling out of my skin. I finally had to go out and run until I calmed down. And so that was that for that medication. It was just educated guesses and
Well, and one of the
yeah. And I almost wonder for you, like, what it's like to go back to the doctor and say, Doc, this really doesn't work because I needed to go for a 6-mile run because of the energy that I had.
And
I had to stop
it was
my
anxiety.
Yeah, like
energy.
I
It
had to
was
stop myself from feeling like I was going to jump out of my own skin.
Yeah, and I've had that reaction to a number of different migraine specific medications.
Fascinating.
But yeah, to really target the issue and relieving that
and
pressure or whatever it might be, we're not there. We're not addressing it.
For sure. Except that the interesting thing is, and the fascinating thing to me is that you found an answer, something that works for you, that you can have a relationship with this substance, which it's a medication, but it's a substance, it's a plant-based medicine, but that allows you to be back again in control of your life. And setting the groundwork here, because of course we grew up in the same faith community, and I don't mean anything bad about the faith community. There's just culture that comes with it. And we grew up as members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and there's very strict rules around what is considered a appropriate drug to use and what is evil. And I use that word purposefully. But
And popular culture.
Like the culture around it. Yeah.
Nobody is exempt from the effects of the culture around them.
That's
it
true.
impacts them. And so the years of demonization or
in the general society, but then even more so in the culture we grew up in.
Yes.
Because when you guys think about that, the first thing that pops into my head is, I don't know, did you ever see the old movie from the 1930s, Reefer Madness?
I never.
No.
I've heard that. I've heard of it.
Yeah. And that was a video that was actually created by the United States government as a way to first start to set the tone in terms of things with cannabis and marijuana, really, again, demonizing what it meant.
Yes.
Yeah, and ding, 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 you just got the right answer.
Yes.
What was your journey towards finding cannabis as a resource?
I'd come to a point where I'm not one to even consider taking my own life. But I was at a breaking point, and something was gonna give.
Yeah. Won't live the next 50 years like this because I can't.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that 2017, saw my physician, told him what I was thinking, and he agreed and wrote a, what do they call it?
Yeah,
Like a
but at the
reference
time it was
note
like
or
you got
whatever.
a green card, I think is what they called it. The process is different now, but you go in, you're like, hey, doc, after everything we tried, does it make sense for me to see if medical cannabis might be better for me?
Yes. And he said, I agree. I think that would be
which must have been a very
Yeah.
hard conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Because you go in.
It was
this
easy
person's-
because I knew
Yeah.
if I didn't have this conversation, well, I didn't know what
Yeah, it's
what's
just-
tomorrow
Whoa,
going to
whoa.
be like?
Well,
What's the next day going to be
But
like?
your doctor is a
if I
member of
don't-
your church and holds the values that are associated
Yes.
with that culture.
Yes.
And so that possibility, not that he's going to judge me, but that he's going to say, yeah, I don't think that's a good idea.
Right.
know?
Well, yeah, and I can only imagine for you, it's like, okay, I'm going to the medical professional, but then how is that going to affect my standing in the wider community? Am I wrong? Like, even though he wouldn't say anything, there would be that sense of judgment there almost too.
I've we all kind of wonder what people think of us, but I don't really care about what somebody thinks.
But that's maturation,
And-
right? That is. It really is. Like, that is maturation. I am coming to that place too.
And so when I went to my doctor, I'm having this conversation.
Yeah.
And I know you, and I know your position in
The church
the
community.
church community.
Yeah.
And I was a little surprised, but not, because he's a young doctor, forward thinking, and we tried everything. And he's coming into the situation 18 years after the accident.
Sure.
So he's just trying to help me maintain kind of what I got going, if it's a healthy process.
Well, and I mean, you're right there. Like, what I'm hearing from you, this was a break glass situation, and it's like I need to look at what is going to maintain my health. You know, that this is not for recreational use. This is like, I need to do this so that I can function, and I'm willing to try anything at this point that will maintain my functioning.
And it was like the first time when so after I saw a doctor and I went and had my appointment and all the rest of it and got my medical cannabis, and immediately,
Wow.
the pressure I was feeling in my head just oozed away. It was and it was the first time that I had felt like I have just identified and attacked the problem where it is, because it was the spot.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at you, and I mean, you've gone through the gambit of emotions. Like right now, like I can just see the light in your eyes
And the hope, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it too. I can see the energy, the
Yeah.
hope, the time that I could not manage this or I couldn't handle this. That time is over.
Absolutely, yeah, and it's like I can only imagine for you. I guess, I mean, some of us have had headaches, but I'm almost imagining like an 18-year long headache where my thoughts are cleared, my body is my own, I'm back in control of my body and I are in sync once again.
I know, and I can rest assured that if I do come to a migraine or a bad, I have the tools to be able to address it, and in a way that improves my quality of life and allows me to live my life.
Yeah, like, because that's where the real work then starts to really happen. It's not like you weren't working on it before, but if I'm just surviving, if I'm just trying to get through, then how do I get this more deeper connection into my world, into my tribe, into myself?
Wow.
And so then when the medicine sets some of that as a stabilizing factor, then that's where the real integration work comes, of me being able to be who I can be. But the work starts then. right? It's not that the medicine does the work for you, because it never can.
No,
Yes,
absolutely.
exactly.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Well, I mean, we've talked about this in other episodes with ketamine. But yeah, like the medicine is just a gateway. It's what you do with it that matters.
Did you hear what he just said? I guess marijuana is a gateway drug.
It is the gateway drug.
Yeah, man.
It's just not a gateway to other drugs. It's potentially a gateway to healing.
To healing.
Well,
Yeah. That's where they were going with that.
Yeah, the whole time. That's what they were saying the whole time.
Okay, you know what? Okay, I think I'm going to put that up as my professional Facebook post. Marijuana is a gateway drug. It's just a gateway to healing. And what does healing look like for you? Like now that you've found this, what does that look like?
So I have been using it for, what is it?
5 years?
Yeah, 5 years or so. The night I stood in my kitchen, not knowing what was gonna drop, was a terrible place for me to be. So my last 5 years of healing and an effective medication, I feel like I'm living a life.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm just trying to make it through the day.
Yeah. And
Some days maybe, but
well, yeah, like
but,
we all
you
have
know.
we all have those days.
yeah, or make it through the next 10 minutes or the next half hour, just so in a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pain is no longer your co-pilot.
Right. I'm in charge of this bus.
Yeah. And Jared, like I'm wondering, because you've seen Cody throughout all this. You talked about him being, that Superman, like invulnerable and going through all of this. How have, like, in terms of where he was before and where he is now, like what have you seen?
Yeah, so this is an interesting part of the story in terms of our connection, because I moved away from Cardston in junior high, and we actually didn't have as much contact. In fact, there was a long time where we didn't have much contact, like years, and we reconnected, and then the 5 of us cousins went back to the old river that we used to fish.
Interesting.
And in about 3 hours, we caught 40 fish.
Yeah.
Darn.
And 12 of them were Cody's, which is the way it worked. I think I caught 6.
Okay, no. Well, okay.
That's the way it always was.
Do you have your fishing license though? Because I don't want you guys. This is a
Oh, yeah.
podcast. We don't want
culpable.
fish and game,
Yes,
please.
I did have a
definitely.
valid fishing license.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm just
me too.
checking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But actually, the person I see in front of me in some ways is very much so the same kid that tumbled out of the closet, like 30 whatever years ago, who is happy and sees the world as a place where there's possibilities. That is always the one that is getting everybody else laughing. And I think there's a long time where that person couldn't come out.
Yeah. What do you feel about, like, when you hear that, Cody?
It's a good observation.
Yeah. I can really see that.
It's been a long haul. I'll say that. And at times where I struggled with how I feel about myself. That's a loaded question, Trent.
So sorry.
Who do you think you are?
No. Sorry. Therapist, I asked deep questions. I apologize.
I was born of goodly parents. I know that there is goodness inside me, and I know what goodness looks like, and I know what truth is. And as I live my life now, those are the things that I strive to uphold and seek.
Yeah. that I can really hear that's your real sense of foundation. You've found your bedrock. This is a member of your tribe here. You really reconnected to that and found that for yourself. And I'm curious, what would you say for other people, if no matter where they are in their journey, if you had a message for them, because you've talked about your journey, what would be if you were to light people's torch for them, or give them something to think about on their journey, what would it be?
It's not going to be easy, but it's not going to last forever. And if you will commit and apply yourself to overcoming whatever it is that you're struggling with, that the sun's going to shine. And for me, a big part of that belief and what allows me to hold it is that it is part. I wouldn't have recovered without my faith. It is very much a part of it. And if you don't aren't religious or don't have much faith in a higher being, I just want them to know that that they're not alone. That as they work through those things, that they will see that they are strong enough. That they have the ability to overcome. It's a decision, and like anything, it's not easy. Anything that's worth doing is gonna take time. It's gonna take effort. It's gonna take commitment, and I was lucky to be born with a high drive and commitment and over, bettering myself. And in my work, in my profession, in law enforcement, I've seen people don't have that. Everybody doesn't have that. And that was something that I had to change a little bit in my thinking. But even though at the same time I of course knew not everybody is blessed with the things that you're blessed with, but yeah.
And if it's okay, I would like to kind of let you know what I learned from your story too. So what I learned, one of the things I took away from your story is that this message to get put out there, that don't give up hope, because there's many ways that people find healing, many ways, and it might be gabapentin, but maybe it's not for you. So if the doctor gives you a medication and it doesn't work, then don't give up. You work with your doctor, but you also work with trying to find a variety of other means through which someone could heal. For some person, it's cannabis. For another person, it's ketamine-assisted therapy. For another person, it's acupuncture. For another person, it may be psychotherapy, that's talk therapy. It may be hypnosis. There's lots of ways to find the path towards healing, not just one. And Western medical science does not have a monopoly on healing.
Yeah. Darn, Jeremy, you stole exactly what I wanted to say, dude. I think you're absolutely right, Jeremy. Through your story and through a lot of other people's that Jeremy and I've heard, is that healing, there's not just one path to healing. It's the will and it's the drive to keep going out there and trying to find it. And I really appreciate you coming in and sharing your story today.
I appreciate you having me, and it's been good to do this with you, Jer, and connect in this way, and nice, meeting you too, Trent.
And I would like to give you a gift at this moment in time, one that will be given in front of the whole world. Anyone that listens can hear this. This is what I see inside you. Like, so you've worked as a guard with people that have had some of the hardest lives that have been lived, and they're being punished. And inside you, I see a person who has this interesting combination of a sense of personal accountability and compassion. And I think that's why people that you have worked with have benefited, because not too many people benefit from being in jail, and they don't benefit from their guards.
Wow.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
We have an opportunity every day, anybody we meet, to leave them feeling a little better than we found them.
Wow.
But I appreciate that.
Dude, you're gonna make me cry, because I'm like, because like you think of the penal system, and I mean, like that. The idea is that that's something to actually make someone like to penalize them, like to punish them. But you look at that as, again, I almost hearing that you're carrying your message of rebirth, and like carrying that forward with the individuals that you work with. So wow, that like, am I wrong there?
I try to do that, that's my goal. And that's just something that brings sunshine into my soul.
Interesting.
We don't realize the effect that we can have on an individual, good and bad. And we need to be accountable for what we put out there, or how we affect somebody. And I'm a firm believer in anybody that wants to better themselves, give me a call, because I'm your biggest fan. I love seeing people overcome. I love seeing the underdog win. It just is a source of strength, and there needs to be more goodness like that in the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wow. I'm really having a hard time finding a way to wrap up the episode.
In fact, that sounds like a perfect place to stop, doesn't it?
And so on that note, I really appreciate you bringing that in, and I hope that our listeners take a lot of what you've talked about today and carry it forward in their lives in whatever way they can. And on that note, I'm Trent Akers.
And I'm Jeremy Alcorn.
See you next time.
Thank you for joining us today. We hope that this message has been as meaningful to you as it has been to us. If you're looking for help, you can find us on Facebook at Humanizing Mental Health.